What it do, number one podcast listeners? We are back after a hiatus with a brand new edition of the number one podcast in your headphones and for your eyeballs, Prem Brulee. Number one podcast listeners, we're trying something new for you. The video content was reviewed so well that we're trying to explore our options for each episode. So bear with us. Excuse any technical difficulties. If this doesn't work, we're going to scrap it. But this is for you, you number one podcast listeners, because the video content was so widely appreciated. I wanted to provide you with more. It's been a goal. So here we are recording video. And if you're catching us on your usual audio versions, then be sure to check out our Prem Brulee YouTube page where you can watch us fire off our
Yeah,
hot takes and pettiness. So, number one podcast listeners, without further ado, a brand new
we're
edition
here.
of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. I'm your host, Premal Bhatt. I'm joined by my big bro, my big cuz, Roshan Bhatt. Roshan,
What
welcome,
it
man.
what it do, man? Glad to be here on video. Trying not to, put my RBF on full display for everybody. So I'll try to crack a few smiles.
Yeah, and this is going to be an opportunity for us to have some product placement. You boys rocking one of my friend's new coffee cart. Charlie, shout out Charlie Bear Coffee Co. That is a free ad because she's my friend. So there you go. But if you want yours featured, it's going to cost you either in
Yeah.
friendship or monetary value. So stay tuned, alert,
Or coffee.
or coffee. Amen, amen. Shout out Sarah. Um, I mean, that's a nice segue to tell you, number one podcast listeners, that this edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee, is sponsored by our fine folks at Mushroom. They got something new brewing. Head on over to their socials to check that out. They're trying to cater their products to the people that use them, and they want your opinion. So head on over there. Opportunity to show off the product. I know I did it with NFL Draft Preview Edition. Got an opportunity to product place there, but since we're on
Yeah.
video, wanted to show off the goods. You already know you and I both prioritize our health, and Mushroom does it best. These are the pill version of it. I've also used the powders where I mix into my morning coffee, but it gets you focused. I feel like I have less crash, and it's been a really tremendous product. So if you're interested, which you should be, to level up, it's time. We're getting washed here, so you got to do your best to preserve it. Head on
Yep.
over and get yourself some. I got a link in the bio of this episode as usual, but go get your products, support the brand, support a minority owned, doctor backed business. This is stuff that's proven, tried and true, not just selling you crap. So uh, please head on over to mushroom.com. That's mushnoom.com/prem brulee. Get yourself some. They have pill version, powder version, soon to be liquid version. Um, very little impact on the taste of your stuff, but even if you don't care, this can just be added to your daily vitamins. So if you're not taking vitamins, this is your reminder that if you make sounds when you sit down or get up, you're probably due to take some vitamins.
Yeah.
All right, Roche, we got a lot to cover. There's been
Yeah.
a lot that's happened since the last episode of Prem Brulee, which is, of course, the NFL Draft Preview Edition. Peek behind the curtains. I put in a lot of work to that one, so there usually is kind of a hiatus, and I kind of let the playoffs breathe anyway. So this is all to say this is an excuse, but we're back just for you, number one podcast
Yeah.
listeners, and here we are. We got a lot to talk about. Going to talk heavy NBA, but and I'm gonna be sure to talk about a one.
Zogar, Wemby, Wembyana, Victor.
And this might
Oh
be an
boy.
unpopular take, but stay tuned alert for this one. It's
Yeah.
been unpopular in the group chat, but I'm ready to go scorched earth. And I've had that
There's
energy
definitely
since
going
the
to be
beginning
some
of the
unhappy
playoffs.
campers for sure.
Yep,
W- We're gonna
for
we're gonna be
sure.
a little polarizing this week. Like, just brace yourself.
Okay. Well, we got a lot to cover, so let's get going, Roche. First
Let's do
up,
it.
yeah, fam or nah, you know we're going to spend a lot of time talking about this, but the New York Knicks are NBA champions. They won
Yeah.
the NBA Finals 4-1 against the San Antonio Spurs. Their first championship in 53 years. And
Yeah.
obviously, Jalen Brunson was named Finals MVP. It wasn't necessarily obvious in the first few games, but it sure became obvious in those clinching games. Um, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about what this cements in the latest history in the NBA and the
Yeah.
parity it's created. But I want to get your initial take, yeah, fem or not, to the Knicks being NBA champs.
Dude, huge. Hell yeah. Um, After moving here to Austin, I moved from Houston. I made a bunch of new friends like on a softball team, and I got two homies that I just like love talking shit to because they're both from New York and they root for the Mets, the Bills, the Giants, and I honestly I'm never gonna root for any of those teams.
Nah,
Both of those guys were just losing their collective shit all postseason. So I definitely like felt the vibe and rallied behind them. Also if any of them listens, I know they've listened before, but if any of them are listening, one of them said something about the Astros one day. And I remember this was like during the Hawk series. And I was like, watch it, bro, before I start hate watching the Knicks. And ever since I threatened them, they've gone like 12-1. And I I just want to say I also went 3-0 in hate watches this postseason. So you could honestly say that the Knicks owe me a ring. So I'm just throwing that out there.
you're welcome, New York.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's Donnie's Knicks and my hate watches. Those are the power rankings, all right?
Amen. Amen. So I'm a yeah fam to this, and I don't want to tip my cap to what we're going to talk about later, but
Yeah,
I think I'm a yeah fam for what it means for the NBA. I think it's big for how teams are built too, because you're looking at recent champions where they've built through the draft, and this is kind of like a indicator that you can build through free agency and acquiring people. So there's different ways to win in the NBA, and I think that's very important for parity's sake, because not every method of winning, like how the Thunder have accumulated talent
yeah,
mostly through the draft, is replicable if you don't have the capital. But sometimes you can make moves to acquire talent.
yeah,
And also, like, it's cool to see like someone smaller as the key player. I think Wemby is not really attainable, but like Jalen Brunson being Finals MVP, they've talked ad nauseum about how much. Of course, he's got a good gene pool himself. His dad played in the NBA. Don't get it
for
twisted,
sure,
but like the amount of work he put in, and he's undersized for NBA standards. I mean, he's kind of like a little bit above average for us regular folk, and
yeah,
he was cooking the Spurs. So
yeah,
that seems attainable. Like after Steph Curry kept winning, it's like every little kid was pulling up from deep for three. Like maybe this will kind of tip the
right,
scales back to your typical basketball. Sounds like an
yeah.
unk take, but I'm a yeah fan, and
This is definitely an unk tank.
shout out
Yeah, it's
my
definitely an unk take, but
yeah, shout out. I got a my shout out my good friend David, who's a Knicks fan. He's gone through it. I don't necessarily feel bad for him. He's seen wins with his other teams, but like
yeah,
the Knicks always feel like this big thing hanging over people. So, and maybe it's
for
an
sure.
indicator for other teams that have been waiting a long time for championships. So maybe it's a mark of
Yeah.
something to come for others. Okay.
We'll see alert.
Um, Yeah, probably not. Rush, are you a yeah fam or not to World Cup soccer?
Um, I'm not like an avid watcher. I think I'm a yeah fan when the US plays, and I'll be a nah fan
Yeah,
when they get eliminated. That's kind of how I
yeah,
approach the World Cup. And I'll probably watch the final regardless,
yeah.
or at least the
That's kind
third.
of I'm a yeah fam to World Cup. It's like my every 4 years of soccer.
Yeah,
But I love getting my friends that are big soccer fans, like getting their takes. Like I legit just
yeah,
asked one of my friends about why everybody on in the World Cup seems to be wearing pink cleats, or I think Europeans
yeah.
call them boots. And we were literally talking about it via text. And shout out my guy Finoli. He sends me a link of a video clip where they're talking about it. That it
Yeah.
it's kind of like backed by research and it makes people feel fast and all that stuff. So they all kind of
Interesting.
individually, all these companies wound up with pink cleats like organically, so which was kind
Yeah.
of wild. So yeah, I love getting people who are experts takes during this time, but I'm mostly watching the U.S. and it was fun to watch their opening game, especially because they haven't won like that ever, pretty much. So
Yeah.
okay, you already know this is the number one source for hockey news, so we didn't want to continue this episode
Yeah.
without recapping the Stanley Cup. The Carolina Hurricanes defeated the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games. I'm definitely a yeah fam to this. I've talked about it before, but I think it's insane how much success the Las Vegas Golden Knights have seen in a short amount of time of existing, and it makes me sick as a Columbus resident. Go Jackets, go hockey! So did not want to see them win. Um,
Yeah.
you already know. You already know this podcast is full of petty, so we're not we're not just out here rooting for teams just cause. So I will
Yeah.
hate watch, and it runs in the family. So I'm an
Yep.
out of this. Maybe one day for the Jackets, but yeah. What about you? You got to take. Let's do that
I'm
hockey.
a Yeah, let's do that hockey. I saw the Vegas Knights got someone a little questionable, a little controversial on their team, and
Okay.
he's got he's got a case out there too. So that's enough for me to hate watch, not actually watch, but hate watch. I'm glad they lost, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay. This was kind of a uh, to circle back to the NBA Finals, which obviously we're going to be sprinkling it in through this whole
Yeah.
episode, but this was quite the topic of conversation after the Knicks Game 5 NBA Finals clinching win. Wemby and his teammates, for the most part, all walked off the floor without shaking hands with the Knicks. So I want to get your take, Roche. Yeah, FM or not, Wemby and the Spurs should have shaken hands with the Knicks before leaving the court in the series clinching NBA Finals. Yeah, fam, for sportsmanship, nah, it's a little overrated because they're pros, which seem to be
Hmm.
some the discourse essentially.
Yeah. I think I'm a yeah fam. I think the only time I don't require sportsmanship is when my team loses. So,
Amen.
um,
Amen.
you know, if
We will sit
if I
atop the
if
high
I see
horse if we
LeBron
need
walk
to.
off the court, I didn't see it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I I couldn't I couldn't believe this because I saw a few people say it's not that big of a deal in the pros, and I struggle to see why it all of a sudden isn't a big deal to show sportsmanship in the pros. I didn't
I
understand that
mean,
take because not everybody,
I
the
have I have
famous
a
Charles
guess.
Barkley. I I
I
guess
I think the guess is because he's just like a golden boy right now, and they just want to let him off the hook.
true.
To me, I think that's honestly where that did. Because up until this point, I had never heard that take. I had always
Yeah,
we've seen LeBron walk off the court, and we've seen like first takes and all the shows like just put a whole segment out about it. But I think like a guy who's so fresh to criticism and, having such a tough finals like appearance, I think they were just like not wanting to pile on and they're like, oh, he's just passionate, blah blah blah. It's like, man, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit. You you should probably shake hands. Like it's the finals. It's like it was like the most watched finals in like 40 years or some shit. Like you should have done it.
Yeah, I was under the impression that like it was overrated when you knew you were gonna see them again.
Yeah,
So like I get not shaking hands when you're gonna see that same team like 2 weeks
correct.
from now, regular season
Yeah.
behavior. But at the end of your season, I mean, the team that beat you, like you kind of
Yes.
gotta eat crow. Like it just feels
Yeah, I think
like
that's exactly where it lies too. I think like at the end of every series, you should be just dapping up. Even if you don't even like, it
yeah,
could just be a half-ass like dap pound
yeah.
and take off the court. I mean, it's there's no sore losing is a tough look.
I agree. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't off base with like, am I crazy to think like, is this a
Or maybe we're just
again an
unks, bro.
unked dude? I know I don't get it. I think
Yeah.
you see it so often. Like one of the toughest sports is hockey, and they like do a whole handshake line after
Yeah, they
winning
do a
the
whole
Stanley Cup.
line, yeah.
Yeah. So I get like if the celebration starts, confetti starts falling, but like it wasn't going to happen. They were on your home court, so that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So you do have time to like. So I get logistics part of it, but it just comes off
Yeah.
as like a sore loser. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. You already know, number one podcast listeners. We gotta
Here we go, baby.
really focus on you played yourself, especially in video form, so you can really
For sure.
get across the saltiness and the hot takes. We're hoping it delivers just like it has in video past for
Yeah.
us. Okay, so Roche, we got a lot to cover. My first you played
Yeah.
yourself is to the Cleveland Browns and Miles Garrett.
Yeah.
Um, this whole saga of will they trade him, won't they? So much stupid, condescending, patronizing behavior just to end up trading him like we all thought they would.
Yeah.
Then, on top of that, the report was that Andrew Barry, their GM, didn't even shop around offers for Miles Garrett. So, like, one of the most valuable pieces in the NFL, you didn't think you should go look for a better value. Now,
Or
they got a decent
leverage a
value. They got
proposal or anything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. At least see what else people are offering out there. But it they got a decent haul with the LA Rams, but it begs to differ what someone else would have offered. They sent the Rams sent Jared Verse and 3 picks. I believe it was a first, second, and third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I
Here,
mean,
yeah, it was a Jared Verse 27 first round, 28 second round, and a 29 third round.
so
Not
yeah,
a
these
bad haul, but
yeah, it
dude,
seemed like they were
there's
focused on
I
getting
could
Jared Verse,
there's got
but
to be a hundreds of teams. There's so many teams that would have probably outbid that for a player like him. You could have really
absolutely
fleeced someone.
coming off the sack record too, like
Of
this guy
course.
Andrew Barry is so secure in doing a bad job that he's openly admitting to it and unaware he's even doing so. I just feel for
Yeah.
Browns fans because they had to hear all about this. Like they restructured his contract and then he tried to tell him it wasn't to make it easier to trade him. Like,
Right.
come on, man. My pet peeve is when these teams act like fans are stupid. It is
Yes.
so annoying and patronizing. Like, just say you can't comment on it. That's fine, but don't act like we don't know what's
Or
going on
just
here.
give like a horse shit, we did what we thought was best for the team, and then like let
Yeah.
people live with it. Like
Yep.
people already think you're stupid. If people already think you're inept, why not just double down on it and don't like give them the ammo to let like put a paper trail on why you fucking suck at this job,
Exactly.
you know? And I think like for Browns fans, like why do y'all even exist? Like I propose that all of you find a new team because that is like probably the most abusive front office, and they've had so much turnover. That's the funniest thing. Is like
Yep.
there's no like real constant in that front office. Like, obviously the owners suck, but there's no constant in that front office. Every GM they bring in is like dumber than the last one.
Yep.
I'm like, Browns fans, just pick a fucking new team.
Yeah. And it's
No
funny
one's
because
gonna
I
blame you
agree.
guys.
We talked about this before. Like they
Yeah,
should have traded Miles Garrett, yet they kept acting like it was a stupid
yeah,
move to do it. Like you guys aren't close to winning. It made a lot of sense,
yeah.
but don't tell us you're not trying to trade him when you clearly are.
Hmm.
Um, okay, I felt like we definitely needed to talk about this whole Brendan Sorsby Texas Tech saga, and you played yourself feels
Yeah,
like the perfect place to do it. Um,
that's fair.
so, number one podcast listeners, I'm sure you're well aware by now, but just a brief history. Brendan Sorsby it was a transfer from the University of Cincinnati. He previously played as a backup at Indiana. He was the highest value transfer portal person. The report is that he got over $5 million to transfer to Texas Tech this offseason. The trouble is that Brendan Sorsby has a gambling problem. Brendan Sorsby reportedly placed approximately $90,000 worth of wagers on college and professional sports across 4 years, um, including betting on his own teams, which he was a backup for. Apparently, he betted that his team would win, so there isn't like any Pete Rose esque
Yeah.
energy there, but rightfully so, the NCAA decided to ban Sorsby. He checked into a residential treatment program to address his gambling addiction, but the NCAA obviously didn't want someone playing who's gambled on their sport. Understandably so. Every sport takes that seriously. What then happened is Sorsby and his people sued the NCAA and somehow found a judge in their area, guessing it was a Texas Tech graduate, that ruled in his favor and provided one of those injunctions that left him eligible this year. Well, then teams started threatening to not schedule Texas Tech, including teams in their own Big 12 conference. So the latest news is that Brendan Sorsby plans to enter the NFL supplemental draft, which is what it sounds like. I think most of us remember the NFL supplemental draft from, we just talked about the Browns. The aforementioned Josh Gordon was a notable
Yeah.
one in the past. A Go Bucks alert, Terrell Pryor was part of the NFL supplemental draft. If you remember after the tattoo scandal, which seems like absolutely nothing these days compared to what has
Yeah,
happened in sports since then. One
for
of the
sure.
most ridiculous things ever. But the supplemental draft, essentially, for those that are unaware, is when a player who didn't declare for the typical NFL draft, their status changes due to ineligibility or other circumstances. The NFL holds a supplemental draft so that they can be drafted later. Now, teams essentially submit a bid for the future pick, next year's pick, that they're willing to give up in order to get that player. It doesn't mean they have to give one up. So there are some people that enter the supplemental draft that don't get selected. I believe the last supplemental draft was a few years ago, in 2023, and that featured two players that didn't get selected. So it figures that Sorsby will get selected. It's just a matter of what a team's willing to give up for him. Obviously, he was a highly sought after quarterback. So does a team whose quarterback needy take a chance on leveraging a next year's draft pick to pick up a quarterback late in the game? So quite a lot to say, but a You Played Yourself goes to especially those judges giving them injunctions. That has to stop. They need to start enforcing what the NCAA decides in these cases. It leads to so much questioning of authority. So, and You Played Yourself goes to Texas Tech for thinking that teams were just gonna allow a player like this to play. I don't know
Yeah.
what they thought they were doing there, but You Played Yourself goes to them.
Yeah. I mean, joining the supplemental draft, sources say he's betting on himself. So,
Nailed it.
you know,
I mean, so we brought up a couple. I brought up a
good
couple
luck.
known supplemental draft selections. Josh Gordon, the Browns gave up a second round pick for him. Obviously, he was great when he played. Another guy that you wish was in a different time because the dude liked to smoke weed, and I'm pretty sure they don't care about that as much anymore.
They don't even care anymore. Yeah. Poor guy
Yep.
got his whole shit rocked, man.
Yep.
Suspension after suspension over the same thing, too.
Yep. Now fumbled the bag. I get it the first
For
couple
sure.
times, but like get it right.
For sure.
And Terrell Pryor was a third round supplemental draft selection by the Raiders. So, who famously played quarterback initially, then switched to receiver and had 1,000-yard season as a receiver. So, anyway, I'm interested to see what team decides to select Sorsby because I feel like he's gonna get selected. I can't imagine he doesn't. So, I was reading. It's interesting. They don't just go in reverse order for the supplemental draft. You get like grouped by like how bad you were. So it's like the top whatever worst teams are in one pool. Then it's the
Yeah.
non-playoff teams, the playoff teams, and the big contenders, and then you get like a random order within those groups, so that it's not just the worst team that gets like first dibs on these guys. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes with Sorsby and
Yeah.
what happens next. Okay, next You Played Yourself, Roche. I saw this
Uh,
graphic. This is
yeah.
a Bet MGM graphic. Is Minnesota cursed? So,
Should we try to share this? I think I can share this. Let's see.
yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go. Number one podcast. This is we're gonna try to give you a multimedia fucking experience. All right, check it out. All right, y'all see that? Do y'all see my screen? I don't know for anyone who works on Zoom, but
Yeah,
here we go. Here's the image. You see this shit? Look at this.
that's
This is
crazy.
our next bit. All right,
So,
take it away.
num
Visual aids on the
yeah,
number
number
one
one podcast
podcast, guys.
listeners. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see the visual. Those of you listening,
Yeah,
audio version. This is a graphic
you
from
played yourself.
BetMGM. Yeah, You Played Yourself also. So come see our beautiful faces on YouTube too. Run those views up.
Facts.
Um,
Facts.
it says, "Is Minnesota cursed?" It has visuals of various players who've been in Minnesota and then switched teams within 1 or 2 seasons, winning a title. So first up, most recently, our boy Corny Towns, Carl Anthony Towns himself, left Minnesota in 24 and won a finals just a few days ago. Sam Darnold left Minnesota in 25, goes to Seattle, won a Super Bowl. Kevin Love left Minnesota in 2014, won a finals with the Cavs in 2016. Obviously, our Lord and Savior LeBron James.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Garnett left Minnesota in 2007. The next year in Boston, 2008, they won his title. And I didn't remember this one, but Big Papi left the Twins in
Yeah.
2002 and then won a World Series for Boston in 2004. So, sorry Minnesota, that's
Yeah.
tough. That's a tough look.
That's a tough look. And yeah, that
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 is a
graphic's
tough look.
hilarious because I totally forgot David Ortiz was a twin. It's like you do not associate Big Papi with the Twins whatsoever. And don't ask why, but this just came to my mind. Ryan Presley, for those non for the casual baseball fan, is was a pretty elite closer for the Houston Astros. He also left the Twins and came here and won a championship, I think within like 2 years, maybe, or maybe three, maybe it was three,
Yeah.
but close enough. Shout out Ryan Presley. He didn't think he was going to get called out on this podcast, but anything can happen on this motherfucker. So
Anything is possible.
anything is possible. Facts.
All right, Rush. You got any? You played yourselves before I get to
Man, no,
my part.
I think you just need to. I think you just need to
All right,
take it away. We're going to be spending some time on this one, so
we sure are. Okay.
it's a
First
first
up,
timer
before I
on
get
you played yourself.
yeah, well, first up, I know we've talked about this team before, but on here, they're widely known as like the best organization, but you played yourself goes to the
Sure.
San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
The Spurs defeated the defending champion Thunder in 7 games. Victor Wembanyama had like a Pat Bev level celebration after beating them. And the part I didn't think was getting enough attention was the Thunder were without arguably their second best player, J Dub, Jalen Williams, all series. I think he played
Yeah.
part of one game,
Like 20
and
minutes or
it took,
something. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not here to like, the Spurs are a young team, and it's impressive that they won that series even in 7. It's still that part, not necessarily hate pack. But the you played yourself goes to this part. Per Elias, the Knicks led for only 23.6% of the time in the NBA Finals. This is by far the lowest percent of time spent leading for a champion since the 1971 Finals. According to ESPN analytics, in the 4 games the Spurs lost the NBA Finals, they had a 91.6% chance of winning game one. They were up 13 points midway through the third. They had a 72.8% chance of winning game two. They were up 2 points with 1 minute left in the fourth. They had a 99.6% chance of winning game four by
God,
20
bro.
points with 9:33 left in the fourth. The famous 29-point comeback. And
That's
in game
tough.
five, they had a 95.4% chance of winning it, up 10 points with 7:54 left in the fourth. These Spurs led game one by 14 points. They led game two by 12 points, game three by 12 points, game four by 29 points, and game five by 16 points.
Hmm, bro.
I have more. Sorry, San Antonio. This is from OptaStats. There have been 48 total 5 game spans by teams in NBA history, regular or postseason, when they led by 8+ points at the end of the first quarter in all five. So 48 series like that, where one team's led by eight
Yeah.
or more points by the end of the first quarter in all 5 games. In 47 of the 48, the team had a winning record over the 5 games. The one is obviously the Spurs in this 2026 finals. They went 1-4. Almost a
Holy
statistical
shit.
anomaly, and like truly choke job. Like a true all-time choke job.
Not even one choke job.
And
It's like five different
yes,
choke jobs. Or I guess four.
and yeah, yeah, 4, and they barely won the one game. But the
Yeah.
Knicks had like some of the biggest choke jobs ever in a finals run. The Cavs are thinking they're lucky stars that the Spurs just totally shit the bed, because that
Yeah.
game one of the Eastern Conference Finals that the Cavs blew was another one of
Yeah.
those. And both these teams are thanking the 2016 Warriors for forever holding the top spot in that
Yeah.
category.
Yeah. I don't think that one's ever gonna get topped. Unless there's
No.
like a 3-0 comeback. I that's gonna be the ultimate choke job. Being
Yeah.
73-9, two home games, yeah. Couldn't
Look,
couldn't avoid taking a shot at the Golden Snake Warriors. So
amen. Their rings don't count. Remember that.
they really
Jalen
don't.
Brunson, more rings than King Snake Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who else does? Mitchell Robinson.
God damn.
Mitchell Robinson, more rings than King Snake Kevin Durant. Don't ever get it
That's
twisted.
crazy. That's crazy.
Hate to hear it. I don't make the rules, but I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go Gar Wemby Wembyana Wembyana Victor.
Number one podcast listeners, it's time. It's time for my latest rant of You Played Yourself, and I hope I deliver. Because this You Played Yourself goes to.
Go Gar Wemby Wembyana Victor.
Thanks, Mikal Bridges, for that one.
Shout out Mikal Bridges, man.
This You Played Yourself goes to Victor Wembanyama. Listen, number one podcast listeners, I made a whole catalog of finding ways to hate on people. I even have a sound effect for it. And number one podcast listeners, I'm going to work on getting sound effects back in here, but, bear with us with this new technology, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Petty alert.
you know
Petty
it,
alert.
petty alert.
There we go.
Yeah, it's the whole brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've hated and continue to hate on Mike Trout. And you can
Facts.
bet I've hated on Shohei Ohtani. What
Yep.
makes you think I can't hate on Wemby? While we're all forgiving him and acting like he's big brain guy with some mental advantage, and it's not just because he's 7 foot fucking 5. So is this rage bait? Who knows? Is it warranted? Again, maybe not. Has the Wemby hate pack train already left the station? Rush, you can confirm. I
can
did.
confirm.
I started this train at the beginning of the NBA playoffs, not just the finals.
Yeah. It was the playoffs. And just real quick before you launch, I want to say at the very beginning of the playoffs, our group chat is just like us two and three of our other cousins, brothers, whatever. Um, Everyone was against Premal, myself included. We were like, bro, it's too soon. And he was like that meme that you had to do it to him. That fucking guy, he was
Yeah.
ready. He's been in the bullpen for a minute. So
Just been
let me
just
just
been
let me
gather
just
just
warm that
been
one up. Yeah.
gathering
Yeah.
gathering this ammo for you number one podcast listeners.
You've been eating, sadly,
Yep.
hunting and gathering.
Amen.
All right, here we go.
So you can confirm this, obviously. Am I prepared to double and triple down? You can Shohei Ohtani fucking bet that I will be. It's this whole brand.
Yeah. Brendan Sorsby likes those odds as well. So,
Nice. I see what you did there.
yeah. Yeah.
Listen, my philosophy has been if someone is glazed too much, I got to take it upon myself to balance the scales.
Yeah.
Am I a hero? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that, but
Yeah.
I'm not one. Let's put it that way,
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
it definitely runs in the family, right, Rose?
A little bit. Some may say that our family has invented this. If I see too many people enjoying something, that's usually my bad signal to lock in. So, you know, I'm not surprised that you act like this.
Yeah,
We all act
learn
like
from the
this.
best.
I think
We
I
gotta
think our dads
live.
act like this.
Hell yeah, they do. We gotta
Yeah.
live and exude the petty lifestyle.
Exude, great word,
So,
man.
exude. There we go. Word of the day. Okay. I have all these notes for you, number one podcast listener.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama. Victor. This man aura farms more than the entire state of Texas farms.
Shout
This
out
man
Texas
guaranteed a
Farms.
series comeback after
Yep.
after game 4. He
Hmm.
offers up quotes post choke job, like per This one's my favorite. Per Ramona Shelburne, this dude, Wemby, reportedly walked barefoot through the hallways of Madison Square Garden after games to really feel the ground and connect. How'd that fucking work out for you, Victor? Now you just got dirty New York feet. Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
how many people have walked through there? Feel the ground? What is that helping you do? You're 7'5". You're good at basketball. Stop with this
Yeah.
horse shit. This dude really went to a Shaolin temple in China for a summer retreat for monks just to be one flagrant foul away from being suspended a game. And newsflash, he should have gotten one in that game. So had the Spurs won and he got correctly called for stepping in Jalen Brunson's landing zone and twisting his ankle enough that
Yeah,
the
I
dude
think
was
I
limping
feel like
in
they
the
ate like two or
celebration.
three flagrant whistles. They ate like two or
Yes.
three
I'm pretty sure the monks aren't
in
doing
5
that.
games.
I don't think that's.
Yeah,
I don't know much about being a Buddhist, but I don't think that's anywhere in there.
I don't either.
This dude is doing all this extra work and this big philosophy, big brain dude, just to have crucial errors in crunch time. Miss free throws in games 4 and 5. Ball off a teammate's back in game 1. He gets shoved out of the lane by Cat and Mitchell Robinson left and right. Dominated the first 2 games by Cat. Mitchell Robinson, crucial offensive rebound, just shoving Wemby out of the way.
Yeah.
And this one, I think you sent me this one per Yahoo Sports. Victor
Yeah.
Wembanyama in the fourth quarter of the NBA Finals. These are his stats. Mind you, this man is 7'5". I remind you,
I'm pretty sure you can touch the
7.8.
rim without jumping.
He can. 7.8
Yeah.
points per game, 34.3% field goal percentage, just 25% from three. Let alone the fact that this dude shoots far too many threes for being that tall. His free throw percentage, while it's not bad, it definitely shows a dip in crunch time, 72.2%. And his plus minus is a minus 20. He scored 5 points in game 4 and 3 points in game 5 in the fourth quarter.
That's fucked up, man.
This one came courtesy of Basketball Forever on Twitter. Wemby has been coming in second place his whole career. He got second place famously at the U17 championship where he came second to Chet Holmgren. I still think he takes that personal, and I respect the petty for that one.
Yeah.
Second place famously at the Olympics with France to USA. Second place in the NBA Cup this past year, and now second place in the NBA Finals. But I just want you, number one podcast listeners, to know that not only is this man tall, he is on the highest of high horses. So it's important that this man who almost got enough flagrants tells you that per his agent, Jeremy Medihana, the sports superstar turned down millions and will never endorse soda companies. They all want him, but Victor will never sell soda because he doesn't want to kill the kids. This is per Jared Weiss of the NBA. Just kindly, not really kindly, fuck out of here with this uppity high horse shit. It is all tired when your methods don't work and are not relatable at all. Like, none of this shit makes you likable, especially when it doesn't work. None of this is replicable. Like, none of this makes you relatable. Who do you fucking think you are? Like, as if turning down soda makes you some high and mighty dude. Maybe try a soda. You wouldn't be so fucking pissy all the time on the basketball court. Have you ever had one? Have you ever had a McDonald's Coke? Bro, try it out and maybe you won't be so
pretty good.
fucking angry all the time. Yeah. Listen, I saw this on Twitter. I think you found this one too. The alien nickname can rest. Wimpy is now officially the Silver Surfer. I mean, just incredible work. This was by B High
Yeah,
B.
fantastic.
Shout out B High B. Listen, And one more thing.
Yep.
I got called out for forcing this take in our own group chat. And do you want to know who validated me? The Knicks them fucking selves who championship toasted to fuck Wemby. I rest my
Yeah.
croissant. I'm going to crack open a pop in honor of this Wemby pack.
For you Texans, he means soda. Oh, okay. Shit, you actually had one. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's called product placement. No free ads. I covered it, but
Yeah, no free.
yeah,
I saw that. I saw that. Well done.
popped open a pop, a soda, just in honor of Mister High and Mighty. Because listen, if they want to sponsor me,
Fantastic.
they can pay me millions.
Yeah, fate. Amazing. Look, man, I was 100% a Wemby fan prior to this playoff run. I'm not gonna lie. He's a weirdo. I run weird. I run a little granola in my parallel universe. The monk shit, I fucking love it. The barefoot shit, I be doing that. My wife, she doesn't really help matters there. It just makes everything tenfold. It just exacerbates everything. But there really comes a point when all of this shit, when you're a sports player, there's just comes a moment where it's just performative. And it really, throughout the course of the playoffs, you could just see it unfolding. Like, I feel like he almost became a villain in real time. And I've never like really seen it happen. Like, even Shea, like
Yeah,
who kind of had a similar trajectory, it took him like a season and a half to
yeah,
really get to that point. Like I feel like even through this season, he was still like beloved by like half the league, and people were like, "Oh, just guard him better, blah blah blah. You just need to be more disciplined." But like Wemby, I religiously read Twitter for sports. I could see it happen in real time with everyone that I follow who follows basketball. They're just like, "This is actually egregious bullshit that he's doing." And just like you mentioned it, like saying shit like everybody knows we're gonna do it when you're down 3-1 is just an insane aura gamble.
yeah,
And let me tell you something, Wemby, you are not the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. You're just not that guy yet. It's one thing to enjoy, my OKC hate watch and see Wemby kind of match wits with them. I felt like there was a place for that, like all his stuff that he was doing, like kind of thrashing his body around, setting hard picks and all that. And like Chet and Shea are just two unethical ass players, and they're well deserving of their own hate watch at this point. But it was just like way too evident. Like someone who was breaking down film every game in the finals and just showing like 1 to 10 just super egregious dirty plays that Wimpy had that game. And that's just way too many for one game. Especially if you're choking down the clutch and then you're spending the rest of that time doing that shit. And then you're doing things like pointing to your head and all that I'm in your head or whatever and all that stuff. It was just a really tough look. And I'm not ready, I'm not like super ready for like a full throttle hate watch of him, but I'm definitely tilting. Um, I saw a tweet. It was it was by at Sports for Casuals. It was about
nice.
the toast, right? It was about yeah, it was about the toast, the fuck Wemby toast, like how everyone's so pissed about it, thinks it's like so low class. And he quoted it and was like, people are mad at this when Wemby, here's a list, right? Threw Jalen Brunson's 61-point ball in the stands, went on live TV during the NBA Cup and said Knicks don't play sophisticated basketball like the Heat and the Thunder. He grabbed him by the back of the neck and shoved him. He stuck his foot in his landing zone. He didn't credit the Knicks for a single win and said he just needs to play normal. Said they made mistakes. They lost games. Knicks didn't win games, and he didn't shake anyone's hands. And I was like, yeah, seeing that list, I was like, that was aside from him throwing the 61-point ball away, that was pretty much all in one series. Like, that's a lot of reasons to hate one guy.
Yeah,
And I mean, like he achieved something, I guess, but like like I said, I'm not ready for a full throttle hate watch. He's a young guy. He's got to learn from like all this dumb shit, and hopefully he kind of locks in. But like the we referenced it earlier again, like the walking off the court is just like some goofy ass shit.
Yeah.
Like you're 3 seasons in to like what everyone assumes is going to be like a pretty long storied career, and like even after all that,
After
he
all
was
that.
out here after all that, he was saying like there's 100 more games or so until I'm back in the finals. And I don't know if anyone did you catch that one?
No, I didn't.
He literally like one of his post game like I think post season presses was like my like one of my biggest like bum outs is that there's at least 100 more games till I'm back in the finals. It's like, dude, my
Yeah.
croissant in Christ, like just shut up and dribble, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's just gassing everything up too much. And you're just gonna have to let your play do the talking at this point. Even like SGA toned down all his like goofy shit and his IG captions. I mean, still did them, but this was like after he won. Before he
Yeah.
won, he was pretty locked in. And it's just like he needs to start stacking MVPs, maybe get a title, and then he can start doing this shit again. Because then
Yeah.
like people will have reasons to like hate you, right?
Yeah.
And also, I just like just to close out, I want to give a rare, an extremely rare, like the rarest of Pokemon cards, reverse you played yourself. All right? To
Okay.
Skip Bayless.
Whoa.
Skip Bayless, all right? This man got a second wind, all right? He came up with Victim Wembyana. Wembyana, that shit, that was fucking gold, bro. He's been in the lab with LeBron for like 20 years at this point, and this man has found a career pivot.
Wow.
Like, none of us thought it was. I've been saying it all along. I probably have tweets out there. What is this fucker gonna do when LeBron retires?
Yep.
He managed to find someone to hate watch, and I don't want to be on the same side as Skip. We talked about this too. I don't want
Yeah.
to be on the same side as Skip. I don't want to hate the same guy, so I'm going to hold off a little bit
Yeah.
because Skip has
That was
spent
the
20
closest
years
I
hating LeBron.
came. Closest I came to coming off the
To
hate
back it off.
watch. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
want to agree with
yeah,
Skip.
yeah. So reverse. This is a until the end of the episode only. Skip Bayless. Reverse. You
Wow.
played yourself. Just that. That's it. So enjoy
Okay,
it.
well, I think we gotta finish this one with
Go guard Wemby, Wembyana, Wembyana, Victor.
Yes, sir.
shout out my
Real
co-brothers
quick
again
before
one
we
time.
move on, one last small you played yourself. I won't spend a lot of time on it. The Mavs, just real quick. They drafted Luca and Brunson on the same night. The 2026 scoring champ, the 2026 Finals MVP. I saw a tweet somewhere, like, and I don't remember what it was. Like, all they got, they just didn't sign Brunson. They let him walk, and they got like Max Christie, 30 days of you played yourself Hall of Famer Tony Davis, Tony Street Clothes Davis, and a first rounder. And it's just like, dude, that alone is tough. Mavs fans were sick. And it's great because I hate the Spurs and the Mavs. So
Yep.
quick little you played yourself to Dallas.
Amen. All right, Rush, you got any
Yeah,
non-sports you played yourselves for us for the people?
I got one.
All right.
Um, I know it's over for good and it's been like sent off to the sun, but the TV show Euphoria. Uh,
Okay.
the third season was just like 8 episodes of the worst fucking TV I've ever sat through. Um, I loved season one and season two. Season two, not as much. Um, season three's premiere became a hate watch like halfway through. It was
Mm,
so bad. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I didn't think that would turn into a full display of just like cringe and embarrassment. And I spent like 10 hours of my life watching that season that I'm just never gonna get back. So you played yourself Euphoria. I'm glad it's over. Please don't ever make Sam Levinson shouldn't be allowed to make any more TVs after this, TV shows, because he did the Icon. That was fucking horrible.
oh yeah, that one
I couldn't even
flopped, huh?
I couldn't even get through 2 episodes of that. It was miserable. And this was along the same lines. It was just like all shock value, no substance, and it was just like a really shit ending. So yeah, Euphoria.
Dig it. I never
Yeah.
watched the show, but I definitely won't now.
Yeah, definitely don't bother.
Um,
What you got? You got a non-sports you played yourself?
no, I'm gonna save mine for Am I Hatin? And I feel like that's a nice segue right into Am
All
I
right.
Hatin? So even though like that's been my whole shtick this whole episode, probably hating on
Yeah.
Wemby, but
Yeah.
Rush, Am I Hatin? You got one for us?
Um, I do. I know this like pretty irrelevant at this point, but it's kind of been a while since we recorded an episode together.
Yeah.
But am I hating if I'm hating on Drake? The
Oh,
Iceman? Bro,
tough
Drake
nickname
got his
this
ass
time.
beat. Yeah, he got his ass beat for like 2 years straight, bro. He dropped
Yeah.
3 albums, and all three of them suck shit. They're all dog shit. And I listened to all 43 songs. I gave y'all a play-by-play. That
Yep.
is a 43 pack of ass. There's just no way, man. There's no way on earth that people think this shit is like a good project. Like I can give you a few songs on each project here and there. Habibti is like straight naps. Like that whole thing is just nap time.
Yeah.
Uh, and like Maid of Honor has like songs about strippers and his hoes and like him just blah blah blah. And his like fucking parents are on the cover, man. Like
Weird.
this shit is embarrassing. Go home and be a family man, Drake. Like we've had enough, dude. Write something with substance. Like, and like what are we doing? As the youth say, put the fries in the bag, Aubrey. All right? Put the fries in the fucking bag. And honestly, before any of y'all come at me, just know, let me cover my own ass, all right? Let me cover my own ass. GNX was mid. Is a 12 pack of mid.
Yeah.
This is not some like Team Kendrick rant where I'm
Yeah.
like picking sides and I'm like doubling down and being like, I'm team Kendrick's last shit was ass too. I haven't listened to it since the week it came out. I don't know a single person who listens to anything other than like two songs off that shit.
Yep.
So it was also ass. So Kendrick's gonna need to get in the lab because he'll be on here too. He's not safe. So Drake. I know
I
a
love
few
that one.
people will not like it. All the OVOs won't like that, but
Uh,
we know
you
one.
might get a little. I do. I I hate how those folks like the discourse is just like they can pick and choose things that are good from those. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
make the projects good because
Yeah.
you threw shit at the wall and saw what stuck.
This
To
is
me,
simple math, man.
that's not like that's not artistry. And I've
If
had this
someone
discussion.
literally will sit there and be like, "Oh, there's seven good songs on there," do the math, man. What's
Yeah,
seven divided by 18? That's
yeah.
under 50%. That's an F. Like
And
let's be objective for once.
it's funny because I hate the discourse around it because, like you said, I'm not some like Kendrick apologist. I like Kendrick Lamar, but
Yeah.
like I don't want to hate Drake. These people,
Yeah.
the Drake fans are like turning us all into Drake haters because
Yeah.
they can't have a discussion about it. Like
Yeah.
we're commenting on like a standard we hold him to because he's released good music in the past, but it's been fucking 10 years since he's done it. So,
That's generous, but yeah.
yeah, like I guess
Yeah.
views is 2016. I mean,
That's fair. Yeah.
so that's kind of what I'm going off of, but like
Yeah.
dude's been phoning it in cuz he knows it works. And
Yeah.
we just like nobody's making you have to like this. And
Yeah.
I think he's like the hip hop version of Taylor Swift. Like this
Couldn't have
dude
said
could
it
just
better myself.
record farts on in audio
Yep.
form and people would be like, this is fucking phenomenal.
They'll be like, you
So
just
I think
don't
that's
get
what
it,
I hate
bro.
about it is like no, I'm like you guys are making it seem like I don't like Drake's music. No, I still like his past music, but his
Still
best
listen
albums
to
were
it.
like
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, like, if he's one of the biggest artists on the planet, shouldn't we hold him to a high standard? That
We
seems
should.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Am I Hating? You know, am I hating it? Like, I feel like it shouldn't bother me, but people who leave concerts early,
Okay.
like or a sporting event that's still going on, the idea of like
Yeah.
beating traffic like it's some major win to not see, arguably like that's going to be the show stopping close of a concert.
Sure.
So what's the fucking point of leaving
Yeah.
early when you've gone through a concert and you don't want to see like probably the biggest hit performed?
Yeah.
And I don't think it should bother me, but that's the whole point of Am I Hating. So Am I Hating? Probably, but you paid the money for the ticket. Like, it's
Yeah.
not that deep to spend an extra 10 minutes getting out of a parking lot.
Yeah. I think that's a valid take. After seeing a few concerts in my lifetime, most groups or artists that I've seen multiple times, I will leave before the last song. Especially if the last song is like the song I want to hear the least, probably. And it usually is. Like, you know me, I'm like a pretentious like music snob, whatever. But if I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to see like let me think of a band, like a big band, Incubus, like they're gonna save some like huge single for the radio as their last song so everyone can go home happy. That's a perfect time for me to be like, "Ah, I'm beating these people out of here."
And you've
So
probably
it
seen
just
that song
depends.
live.
Yeah, and I'm a play by ear kind of guy. So if it's a band I've never seen, I'm not leaving early. If it's an artist or anybody that I haven't seen, I'm not leaving early. But if I have seen them, like, and I think the litmus is like if I've seen them like 4 or 5 times. So
You've been to a few concerts as a under undersell of the year.
I have seen a few concerts in my day. Yeah.
Seen a couple. Um, okay, let's move on to who you got and what you feeling. Obviously,
Yeah.
last episode was the NFL draft preview, so not going to recap all that, and
Yeah.
time will still tell how that shakes out. So we'll cover that
Yeah.
later. The fun part before that episode was our Super Bowl preview where we did our draft of snacks, and maybe in this slow off season we'll have to bring back the draft version of something else. So
Yeah.
this is my
I did like that draft. That was fun.
yeah, that was fun. So okay, this episode I have an interesting one for you, and I want to get your take on it since there isn't too much to pick, and the World Cup is so far away. I don't even know who's going to be in
Yeah.
contention by the end of group play. But who you got? NBA dynasty versus parity. So, little background here. I want to get your take on what's better for the league: dynasties in the NBA or parity. And the context is
Yeah.
with the Knicks winning their title this past season, it now marks 8 straight seasons of different NBA champions.
Yeah.
In the in fact, there's only 3 teams that have made the finals in this stretch more than once, and that's the Warriors, Heat, and Celtics. Um, 13 unique teams have made the playoffs since 2019. Obviously, the salary cap and the aprons have made super teams essentially obsolete. So we're seeing a lot of parity in the league, as evidenced by the 8 different champions in 8 years. So,
Yep.
what do you think? This isn't like what you like more, but what do you think is better for the league versus a previous time when I think most recently it was allegedly the Warriors, even though their rings don't count. You had a stretch with the Lakers and Celtics back and
Yeah.
forth, that sort of thing. And then
Yeah.
obviously the Lakers at the turn of the century, too. So, what is better for the league, parity or dynasties?
Dude, I I don't know where you stand, but I'm 100% for parity.
Yeah.
Outside of the last couple of years, like the parity in baseball has been like amazing.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a back-to-back champ in like 25 years before this fake ass Dodgers team.
Yeah.
And like, like when it gets down to like the last like 8 teams or whatever, like yeah, there's like some usual suspects or whatever, but like the product is just like better when it feels truly up for grabs. I feel like there's
Yeah.
so much more heart and there's so much more to lose. And it just like, despite this finals only being 5 games, those were 5 of the best basketball games I've seen in years. Like OKC Pacers had some pretty good. games, but it was nowhere near everyone. It felt like a foregone conclusion who was going to win that series.
Yeah.
And I don't like I know Halliburton got injured, but I never thought OKC was going to lose that series.
Right.
Every game, every game in the series that like the Spurs blew, if they didn't blow that game, this series is like changed dynamic like greatly.
Big
And
time.
so while those games were like it felt on paper, and we're gonna look back on this and be like that shit was a blowout. It wasn't. It was like so dramatic. It was like just fucking cinema, man.
Yeah.
And I think like you can't. And I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to have like a reverse what you feeling about this like the worst take I've ever heard. And it was like on I sent this to you earlier today, so I did clip it, and it was Vince Goodwill on Get Up ESPN. And I'm gonna just like I'm gonna try to share it and see if I can get this fucking thing to
All right.
more more media for you number one podcast listeners, all right? Let's see if I can get this to play.
I like to know that greatness is validated. How do we know that any of the last 8 champions are actually validated because they have not done it again? Giannis is itching to get out. Boston is thinking about trading Jaylen Brown. They don't believe in their one championship. LeBron's one championship in LA was not enough. So why would it be enough for us?
Validate is the Larry O'Brien that I put on that shelf and it stays there forever. That's the validation. The Laker thing.
Oh, you mean participation trophy then?
I'm sorry, Larry O'Brien is a participation
That's,
trophy?
if everybody gets one.
It is a actual trophy.
Yeah.
You won the league that year.
Just that's just fucking crazy, man. And like he almost made a point, and like
Yeah, he was
and I think
almost
you said this
there.
too. Like I was with him until he said that one thing, and him saying that one thing at the end about it being a participation trophy, I think negates the entire take because
Yeah.
he only made that take because he feels like everyone's getting a championship, so it's like he's like saying greatness is validated because no one has a repeat, or like it's validated when you repeat, and because no one's repeated, there's no greatness that's been validated. I'm like, no one has ever said that. If you
No.
win a championship, dude, the NBA's only ever had like 80 seasons.
Yeah.
35 of those seasons belong to the Lakers and the Celtics. And then 19 other teams have won rings. Like that's almost the entire league.
Yep.
Like I think that's way more than most leagues probably. Like I think like it depends. I don't know how it shakes out, but I just feel like because of the parity, there's just like plenty of greatness to go around.
Yep.
And this is the exact reason why, real basketball fans have discourse around players like Iverson or Charles Barkley or Chris Paul or whatever who
Yeah.
who are like all-time greats, but they don't have a ring. So you're
Yeah.
telling me that someone with a ring, their greatness, especially if you're a Finals MVP at this point, so Jalen Brunson's greatness is not validated. You're just gonna treat all
Crazy.
these as flukes. Fucking
Yeah.
crazy, man.
It's crazy.
And it's just like I hate this take as is, and he just had to dig in deeper and like say that championship rings are participation trophies, and I'm just like, dude, I know you got a job to do. This shit better be rage bait because that's a fucking crazy
It
take.
it has to be. I think, like connecting back to the question, and then the take's ridiculous.
Yeah.
First of all, you're
Yeah.
right. I think it negates like what was on its way to a really good point.
Yeah.
But I, and there's part of that clip where he talks about like the longer clip, obviously, for number
Yeah.
one podcast listeners, where he starts to talk about like, oh, the league's kind of created this parity. They've manufactured it because of the salary cap that I mentioned before. But I think it's a tremendous thing for fans to know that your team has a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
In the era of super teams, like yes, it created villains, obviously, and like rooting interest. But if you're a fan of a team that wasn't one of those, like one of those big market, or like, Cleveland had LeBron, so it attracted people. But like if
Yeah.
you weren't one of those, you're just kind of watching regular season games at that point.
Yep.
So
Pretty much.
this is replicable. Like I was talking about earlier, you can use any one of these molds to try to figure out a way to win in this league. Like, you can build through the draft. You can acquire players. If you can convince your star player to take less, you can accumulate some more talent like Jalen Brunson did. Like, these are all things that a good GM and a good front office can achieve with just a few moves away. And that feels like
There are
a
also
cool
things
spot
that
to
those
be.
things should be valued. Like a good GM should be valued.
Yes.
And it's like you shouldn't just be walking into someone who can cut checks. Like
Yep.
this Knicks team took a lot of finagling. They had to use mid-level
Yeah.
exceptions. They had to make trades. They blew a bunch of picks for Mikal
Yep.
Bridges. Like they had to do it all. Sure, they got
Yep.
a discount from Jalen Brunson, but like sometimes the shit just like lines up to a destiny situation. And I think that
Yep.
makes parity great. The
Totally.
Pacers were in the fucking finals last year. Like,
Yeah. You know, it was fun to have like to root against the Warriors and stuff, but I
for
wouldn't
sure.
trade that for the interest and the intrigue that's been created in this league.
Yeah.
And I think the Knicks winning was big for like, I think it kind of bucked that trend like of
Yeah,
needing to build through the draft. So I think it's like helped that parity even more
for
because
sure.
now you have options to get to where all these teams have gone. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see also where they're like anti-tanking with the draft goes to, and I know it's like a
Yeah.
temporary thing, so I'm very intrigued with what impact that might have in the next few years, and whether they keep that method too. So I think it is an exciting time, and it doesn't negate like the participation trophy thing is asinine. Like I think you said this in our text, like the audacity to call literally the trophy a participation trophy. It's an oxymoron. Like
The logo
partition.
on the court during the
Yeah,
finals is a participation trophy now.
it's crazy.
When half the players don't get it, it's
What's
crazy.
not great about the Spurs having like 19 wins a couple years ago, or the
Yep.
Pacers were in the finals last year because of injury. They were a lottery team. Like
Hmm.
those, that type of thing is, or like the strategy it takes in the Celtics considering blowing up their duo. They just won a couple years ago and they're
Yep.
considering changing up their team. Like that is exciting. That appeals to all of
Yeah.
us like who've
Yeah.
played a video game before or anything like that.
Exactly.
So anyway, I thought that was an interesting one, but that take
Yeah.
was crazy. It has to be rage bait, right? Okay.
I hope so.
All right, Rush. Let's hit that. What you feeling before we get to too much sense? What you
All
feeling
right.
lately, man?
What am I feeling lately? In about 3 weeks, actually a month from today, I'll be moving into a bigger spot,
Hell yeah.
new spot. Shout out to my current place. It's been such a like hub, so many milestones here, but let's get it.
Yeah.
Oh, and like at the end of the month, uh, I'm coming to see you. Coming to
Yeah,
see you,
man.
hitting Ohio,
Yeah.
uh, visiting the boys. So looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
We can't wait
It's
to
a little
have you,
birthday
man.
trip. Yeah, going to. It's a weird routing. I'm going to Ohio and New York, so it should be an interesting
Yeah.
time. I'm looking forward to spending some time with y'all.
Yeah.
You
We're
guys came last year for my wedding and stuff, and I was
yeah.
like, I owe these fools a trip. I gotta see
We're
the
pumped, man.
boys. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It should be fun.
And we're working on cooking something. We don't know if it's gonna work, but we're
Yeah.
working on it.
We'll figure
So stay
something
tuned,
out.
alert.
Yeah. We're working on it. Um, Stay tuned alert is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for
All right,
that.
what you got, man? What you feeling, man?
That's a nice segue. What I'm feeling here, first of all, sports related. I got to give a shout out. Ohio State's going back to what were previously known as the heritage stripes. They're going back to the classic gray sleeves. They had a whole uniform rollout, and they're beautiful. They made slight tweaks to previous uniforms, and the gray stripes look incredible. Those of you not on game, if you're picturing like anytime they're in a playoff run, like Ezekiel Elliott running through Alabama, they wore the gray sleeves then, so those are going to be the permanent. They used to be the full-time sleeves. A lot of purists wanted them back. They're finally back. So definitely feeling that. definitely feeling, number one podcast listeners, your reception to the NFL draft preview episode. Like I said at the top of this episode, a lot of work goes into that. Shout out Thomas for his time in that, and all of you for submitting questions. I plan to keep doing that, and we're hoping to do that in person again next year instead of like the video remote version. But I'm glad you all still found it informative and loved the video content. Yeah, can't wait to have our special guest soon, you and the missus, here in town, and get some quality time. That'll be a good time. And then I talked about it last episode in the NFL draft preview, what I was feeling, because we celebrated it early with the trip, but the actual date of my 10-year anniversary is here, and I just want to shout out, formerly a host of this podcast a few times over, but I truly beyond lucky I get to be Steph's husband, so shout out to her, and 10 years being married.
Congrats on
been
10
together
years,
even
man.
long.
That's crazy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we took a trip to Italy about, let's say, 2 months ago, a little over 2 months ago, a little early trip, but we have a nice date night planned, and just really grateful for an amazing
Did you
10
eat any
years.
pasta?
Sure did. And it's just not hitting the same since being back. It does spoil you. So, that was an incredible trip. I talked about it a little bit, but just everything you want it to be. Italy's everything you want it to be, food-wise, and the scenery, and So, very, very pumped about that. In 10 years, it's been the best 10 years ever. We got two beautiful boys too, so built a great life together. It's the thing I'm most proud of. So, shout out her. Happy 10 years. Okay.
Awesome, man.
Number one podcast listeners, let's wrap up this episode with Too Much Sense. You already know how we do it. So, number one podcast listeners, my Too Much Sense for this video edition of the number one podcast in your headphones, Creme Brulee. This one connects to kind of like a bonus what you feeling for me. So I recently went to my first concert by myself. For those inquiring minds, I went to go see Baby Keem. First of all, found myself grateful to you, Rosh, for encouraging me. I ran it by you, and you're like, you absolutely should do it. Done it before. It's a cool experience. So shout out to you for encouraging me. I texted the right person. You were.
I've been to a few concerts by myself too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can't go to that many with always having someone to go to, I imagine. So
I don't have
you're
that
the
many
right person
friends,
to
so.
text. I've done solo things before. I've eaten before solo. I've gone to a movie solo. So like had that step, but I was proud I did something out of my comfort zone, because it's like going to an event and you don't know like how you're gonna feel, kind of just like not really having somebody to talk to or stand with. But my Too Much Sense is to encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zone, find some peace in like doing things solo if you're one of those people, or if you are someone that tends to do things solo, find it out of your comfort zone to go do something with someone. Put yourself out there. So my Too Much Sense is to, no matter what, celebrate your victories, big or small. It's important to stop and smell the flowers of progress. And for those able to, be that person for somebody else, like you were for me, Rosh. Speak on your experience. There's power in that connection and encouragement. So, just a nonchalant text exchange can help set it the right way. I think once I exchanged those with you, I immediately bought the ticket, and then it's just like, I'm not going to waste my money and not go at that point. So,
Right.
And my wife was like offering to go. I'm like, you know what? Well, she doesn't listen to Baby Keem, but she was just being nice. And I was like, you know what? This is something like, I can do this. So she knows I'm a big
Put on the
social
big
battery
boy
person.
pants. Hell yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So it is just kind of like, do it, like, do
Yeah.
it, you know,
Yeah.
the the shy
It's
gist.
just
So
kind of awkward at first, and then you'll get
yeah,
over it. Like get over it.
and then
And that goes for
honestly,
anything, man. Like eating for yourself and going to the
yeah.
movies. It's all like the same concept. But
And I think it helped me is like nobody cares. Like I won't see these people again. And like,
exactly.
first of all, we're watching a concert and it's dark and the lighting's
Yeah.
dark anyway. And for Baby Keem, he chose to apparently keep all the lighting dark, but that's for another
Yeah.
time. So anyway, that's my too much sense for this
Yeah.
episode.
I like that.
Yeah. Number one podcast listeners. That wraps up our first episode in a while, a brand new edition of the number one podcast in your headphones and for your eyeballs. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're not, check us out. If you've listened to it audio version, run up the views on YouTube too, and vice versa. If you watched us, go listen on your favorite podcast platform. It doesn't hurt to hear us twice.
Smash that like, smash that subscribe. Now we got a YouTube. Y'all gotta get on there
Yeah,
and subscribe.
get on there. The previous video editions have been on there. Had I think it's now up to like 3 or 4 episodes. Number one
Yeah.
podcast listeners, weigh in. We're again, pardon our technical difficulties. If you're seeing this and things are a little off, we're going to try to work on them. If they really don't work, then we'll scrap it. Look for an alternative. But number one podcast listeners, you enjoy the video content, so we're trying to incorporate that more in a way that's also cost effective. So if you don't like the quality, then step your paper up and decide to sponsor us, and we'll look into some more premium
We'll
options.
be here. So,
But number one podcast listeners, I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, love you
Yeah.
all. I appreciate the support. It sincerely means a lot to me that you guys care what we have to say and tune in. So I can't thank you enough for your support, your listens, your shares. Please like the podcast, share them, write a review, tell a friend to tell a friend. Run up the views and listens. It is greatly appreciated. I appreciate you, number one podcast listeners. Roche, appreciate you as always.
appreciate you,
And,
man. Of course.
Can't wait to see you in person, number one podcast listeners.
Yes, sir.
Hope you enjoyed this, and we will talk to you much sooner than the time it was between. I'm already working on some follow-up episodes that are in the works and scheduled and on the calendar, so stay tuned alert for those coming up. Very excited.
Yes, sir.
Probably some non-sports content too for those that enjoyed those. So number one
There you
podcast listeners, without further ado, we'll talk to you next time. This has been Prem Brulee.
Peace.